Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever have reclaimed the limelight after their much-anticipated return from the Olympics and All-Star break. Fans and commentators alike focused their attention on Caitlin Clark, one of the WNBA's most potential new players. Since her comeback, Caitlin has spent no time reminding everyone why she was one of the most talked about rookies in the league. Her performances have been nothing short of outstanding, with 2 games demonstrating her enormous skill and development as a player. Clark's performance on Friday was remarkable. She scored 29 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds, leaving spectators buzzing and analysts reaching for superlatives. Just a few days later, she had another outstanding performance, tallying 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists. These stats aren't simply exceptional for a rookie, they indicate a player who is quickly establishing herself as a team leader and potential league superstar.
Clark looking to take it around Lloyd. Clark bodies in and finishes.
The Indiana Fever, who have struggled in previous years, are starting to seem like a squad with a bright future, and much of that confidence revolves around Clark. As we dig further into the intricacies of her recent performances and the dynamics of her team, it becomes evident that Caitlin Clark is not simply meeting expectations, she is exceeding them. Caitlin Clark's recent results reflect her talent, tenacity, and hard work since joining the league. Her first game back after the break was against the Phoenix Mercury, a squad that had been generating news for a variety of reasons, including Diana Taurasi's preseason remarks regarding Clark. The tension was evident when Clark went on the court, but she didn't let it bother her. Instead, she gave a masterclass in scoring and playmaking.
Boston gets into the arms of Clark. Clark, the crossover, the 3.
Clark scored 29 points on a variety of shots, including 3-pointers, mid-range jumpers, and drives to the basket. What impressed me even more was her ability to orchestrate the offense, recording 10 assists and helping her teammates improve. This is a vital component of her game, which has been fast developing. Her court vision and decision-making skills are already top, and they'll only grow with more experience. Clark's second game of the week pitted him against the Seattle Storm, one of the league's best teams. Once again, she rose to the situation, scoring 23 points and handing out 9 assists. While the points are outstanding, it is her consistency as a playmaker that really stands out. Clark has swiftly learned to strike a balance between scoring and setting up her teammates, a skill that many young players struggle with.
Now tied Tisha Penicheiro's record for most assists in a season by a rookie. Here's Clark speeding all the way in to the cup. Boston gets into the arms of Clark. Clark, the crossover, the 3.
These performances are really significant. Clark isn't just putting up stats, she's doing it against top-tier competition and under great scrutiny as a highly anticipated rookie. Her ability to rise to the occasion in critical circumstances is both a positive indicator for the Fever and a warning to the rest of the league. A unique blend of scoring power and playmaking abilities distinguishes Caitlin Clark's style. At just 6 feet tall, she possesses the stature and length to see above defenses, enabling her to make passes that other guards cannot. This has been one of the secrets to her success in the WNBA, distinguishing her from many of her colleagues.
Soaring in and missed the money. Here comes Clark, wielding through traffic, finds home.
Clark has long been noted for her ability to score. She was a formidable force in college basketball, topping the country in points per game and establishing herself as one of the finest shooters in recent memory. However, in the WNBA, she has had to change her game. The defenses are harder, the players are stronger, and the game moves quickly. Clark has had to be more careful with her shots and depend on her playmaking skills. The most amazing aspect of Clark's adjustment to the professional game has been how fast she's figured out when to impose herself as a scorer and when to concentrate on getting her teammates involved. During the first part of her rookie season, she forced shots and tried to do too much on her own. However, during the last month and a half, she has developed a rhythm, and it is evident that she is beginning to learn the subtleties of the WNBA game.
Third 3 for Caitlin Clark, who now has 23 points.
Her ability to keep the defense honest with her passing is critical. Teams cannot afford to concentrate completely on preventing her from scoring because they know she has the vision and talent to locate an open player. This makes her very tough to defend, and it's one of the reasons why Fever's offense works so well when she's on the court. Clark's important partners, Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, have benefited greatly from her playmaking. Mitchell, a sharpshooter who can fire it up from anywhere on the floor, has had more open looks because of Clark's ability to attract attract defenders. Boston, a second-year player who is quickly emerging as one of the league's finest bigs, has also seen her game improve as a consequence of Clark's passing.
Physical and finishing even with contact.
Clark, what a pass, hit stride.
These three make up the core of the Indiana Fever, a youthful and energetic club that is gaining traction. Clark's ability to mix her scoring and playmaking is the motor that propels this team, and it's evident that the Fever's success is inextricably linked to her growth as a player. In a game full of emotional moments, one event stuck out. Skylar Diggins hit on Caitlin Clark. Diggins made contact with Clark late in the game, triggering a short confrontation with coaches Christy Sides and Noel Quinn. The Fever were leading comfortably. The bump was not very forceful, but it drew attention and resulted in a heated argument between the two coaching staff.
Day one, you knew that she would only get better and better. She's averaging 17.8 points this season, 41% shooting.
The event brought up concerns about sportsmanship and the competitive aspect of the game. Some saw it as a harmless aspect of the game, a touch of roughness that is usual in basketball. Others saw it as a show of contempt, an intentional effort to get under Clark's skin. Regardless of the intention, the incident underscored Clark's rising friction with some of her opponents, who may be feeling jealous of the attention and plaudits she's been getting. Shannon Sharpe, a well-known sports pundit, chimed in on the situation and shared his thoughts on what happened. Sharpe, who never backs down from a strong stance, minimized the severity of the collision, implying that it was simply part of the game. He said that if it had been a men's game, the event would have garnered less attention. For Sharpe, this was just two competitive guys going at it, and he saw nothing wrong with it.
It got so bad yesterday, the Seattle Storm, they pulled their starters so she couldn't get that double-digit assist record.
Sharpe's comments, on the other hand, alluded to a deeper issue, the anger that some players may have against Clark as a result of the attention she has received. Clark, a rookie, has already earned more media attention and hype than many league veterans. This may cause conflict, particularly in a league where respect is often gained over time. However, Sharpe claimed that having a competitive advantage is beneficial to the game, since it motivates players to improve and makes matches more intriguing for viewers. Shannon Sharpe's examination of the incident between Skylar Diggins and Caitlin Clark provides vital insights into the WNBA's competitive dynamics. Sharpe, who has seen his fair share of fierce rivalries and strong competitiveness throughout his career, knows that such incidents are sometimes blown out of proportion. In his opinion, the bump was just a minor part of the bigger picture, a tale about a young athlete establishing her imprint in a league full of seasoned veterans.
And 10 or more assists. They pulled their starters, and then Skylar Diggins, Fake Smith, her last name, she bumped into her, sped up. Let her cook.
Sharpe's analysis also emphasizes the specific hurdles Caitlin Clark confronts as a rising star in the WNBA. Unlike many rookies, Clark came into the league with a lot of fanfare and anticipation. This has placed a bullseye on her back, with some opponents anxious to demonstrate that the attention she is getting is undeserved. This dynamic is not uncommon in sports, but it is more noticeable in the WNBA since a smaller number of players often share the limelight. Sharpe also discussed the bigger ramifications of Clark's accomplishment for the league as such. He said that although there may be some hatred against Clark, her presence in the WNBA is ultimately beneficial. She adds a new level of excitement to the league, attracting people who had previously yet to follow it. This in turn benefits everyone since it enhances the WNBA's prominence and helps to expand its fan base.
Let her cook. I want to know what y'all saying now, cause she is legit. She's better, Stephen A. She's better than I thought she would soon.
One of the most amazing parts of Caitlin Clark's brief career has been her ability to adjust to the professional game swiftly. When she initially joined the WNBA, there were concerns about how her game would adapt to the greater level of play. Will she be able to score as easily against larger, stronger defenders? Will her playmaking stand up to the higher tempo of the professional game? In only a few months, Clark has given an emphatic yes to those questions. Clark's progress has been especially noticeable in her decision-making and ball handling. Early in the season, she tended to force plays, which resulted in mistakes and lost chances. However, as the season proceeded, she showed an impressive capacity to learn from her errors and make corrections. Her assist-to-turnover ratio has greatly improved, and she is much more efficient in running the offense.
Here's Clark.
Her relationships with her teammates have played an important role in her growth. Clark rapidly acquired the confidence of her teammates, allowing her to assume a leadership position despite her inexperience. This is a significant accomplishment in a league where experience is highly prized, and it reflects both her skill and hard dedication. Clark's progress as a player is also evident in her mastery of the game's mental components. She's learned how to analyze defenses better, capitalize on mismatches, and control the game's pace. This cerebral clarity, paired with her athletic abilities, makes her a tough opponent and player who will only improve with time.
Trying to shake Whitcomb, step back is good.
One of the most revealing moments of Clark's recent games occurred against the Seattle Storm when she made a move that left her opponent stunned. As she drove towards the basket, she was met by Brittany Griner, one of the league's greatest shot blockers. Instead of forcing a shot, Clark drew up just short of the hoop and nailed a stunning floater over Griner's extended arms. It was a play that showcased both her ability and her knowledge of the game. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever will receive a lot of attention as the season unfolds. Can she continue to guide her squad to success? Will she be able to handle the hardships that come with being a rising star in the league? Time will tell, but one thing is certain, Caitlin Clark is a player to watch, and her career is just starting. Fever to new heights of success, perhaps converting them into league powerhouses.
I love her brother too. He's awesome. Obviously a Pacer too. We were in a little commercial together, so I love their family. They're just awesome people.
Join us as we explore Cheryl Miller's history, uncovering the tales and secrets surrounding this USC legend.
I was 13 years old, and there was an article in newspaper, she's 13 and she can play.
And imagining what the future holds for Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever under Miller's tutelage. Cheryl Miller's rise to basketball stardom started at Riverside Polytechnic High School, where she immediately established herself as a prodigy.
My dad and my mom did a great job. Thank God my mom was a registered nurse, because it came in handy.
In one memorable game, she scored an unbelievable 105 points, propelling her team to an unprecedented 4-year record of 132, including an 84-game winning streak and 4 consecutive CIF titles.
So that's the fun part. I found out about this less than a week ago.
Her brilliance was evident, and she became the first high school player, male or female, to be chosen a Parade All-American 4 years in a row. In 1981, she was named the National High School Scholar Athlete of the Year, setting state records for points scored in a single season and career.
It was, if you're gonna do something in life, do it passionately. You know, and some people may not be like that, but
her supremacy continued at USC, where Miller cemented her place among the best basketball players of all time.
My life is completed full circle, coming full circle, and getting the opportunity.
Trojan, she led the team to a 112-20 overall record over 4 seasons, winning back-to-back national titles in 1983 and 1984. In both championship campaigns, she was selected NCAA Tournament MVP, demonstrating her ability to execute under pressure and lead her team to victory. Miller's accomplishments did not end there.
Just for women. Just for women. And it's not just a facility for women, it's a facility that is hands down better than probably, and I'm not inflating this number.
She was also named Naismith Player of the Year 3 times and won the Wade Trophy once. She was a 4-time Kodak All-American who departed USC with virtually all of the school's records.
Well, that was a wonderful thing and blessing for me with my 2 older brothers, is they were able to buffer my dad a little bit, like back off. Otherwise, she's going to quit.
Including career scoring, scoring average, career rebounds, total field goals, and free throws. Her outstanding performances won her the distinction of ESPN Female Athlete of the Year in 1984 to 85, as well as Player of the Decade from the Women's Basketball Coaches Association.
Probably 98% of the NBA do not have a practice facility like that, with all the bells and whistles, and the bells and whistles that make sense.
When the Pac-12 Conference announced its All-Century team in 2016, Cheryl Miller was appropriately voted Pac-12 Player of the Century, a fitting homage to her immense effect on the sport. Her stellar career has included entry into the USC Hall of Fame in 1995 and the Pac-12 Conference Hall of Honor in 2018. Even USC retired her number 31 jersey in 2006, guaranteeing that her legacy will be remembered for future years.
And if you sow a character, you reap a destiny. Now, I'm certainly not saying that I was destined for the Hall of Fame.
Miller's foreign career was similarly successful.
They know, and we certainly have come a long way. And I'm not about gouging, but it's a long time overdue.
She led the USA squad to gold medals in the 1984 Olympics, the 1983 Pan American Games, and the 1986 Goodwill Games, where she scored the most points for each team. These achievements solidified her reputation as a worldwide basketball superstar. With such a distinguished career, some may be surprised to discover that Cheryl Miller never competed in the WNBA. The professional league did not exist when she graduated from USC in 1986.
But we never knew that. We never knew that side because my dad was like, I'm in the military and everything, but he would do that whole thing.
And knee problems ended her playing career before the WNBA was established in 1996.
I think it's hard sometimes looking at the dynamics of, a dad and a mom. Is somebody's got to end up.
Miller, however, continued to contribute to her favorite game. She moved into coaching, taking over at USC, the Phoenix Mercury, and Langston University. Her ability to nurture and develop new talent, which she developed throughout her playing days, was a defining feature of her coaching career.
On this planet, wouldn't want to be in this situation. And now my job is to stand back, roll out the ball.
Miller spent 17 years as a television reporter and commentator for TNT.
And we're going to continue to get better and better. All you have to do is look at, college basketball and what's coming next, the next wave.
Before returning to coaching, Miller's impact goes well beyond her accomplishments. She cleared the path for future generations of female basketball players, notably Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's emerging star.
WNBA All-Star Game. You may recognize this woman beside me, Cheryl Miller. Reggie Miller's much more successful sister, isn't that right?
Underpaid Miller.
Caitlin Clark, one of the WNBA's most promising young players, has voiced her respect for Miller, stating, "Obviously, Cheryl is one of the pioneers of our game and an awesome individual."
My mindset is their mindset. So it's all fun and games until the ball is tossed up. And then it's on. And these guys are competitors at both ends. And we're just going to go out there and give it a great show.
Her demeanor exudes happiness, and being around her just makes you grin. For her to train us is quite thrilling for me. It's an excellent chance to learn from someone who has contributed so much to the game.
Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, you've been able to watch these guys from afar.
Yeah.
What's your perspective been of how they've been trending and just them individually as well?
Clark's statements reflect Miller's widespread respect and adoration among the younger generation of athletes.
One of the best that's ever played the game, so I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and it's fun. Like, I called her coach and she was like...
Caitlin Clark, one of the WNBA's most promising young players, has voiced her respect for Miller, stating, "Obviously, Cheryl is one of the pioneers of our game and an awesome individual."
This is how the standard is for women athletics.
Her demeanor exudes happiness, and being around her just makes you grin. For her to train us is quite thrilling for me.
I can't look at her, she won't look at me. Then we have to do individual meetings, kumbaya, coach wants to tell you what you are and what you aren't. She goes, "You want to know why I said what you did?" I said, "I don't know, coach."
It's an excellent chance to learn from someone who has contributed so much to the game. Clark's statements reflect Miller's widespread respect and adoration among the younger generation of athletes.
Yeah, you'll have to see how I do during the game, so no, but it's super fun. And then obviously Eddie Myers-Drysdale too. Getting to be around those two people that have done so much for the game.
Miller's presence alone lends credibility to the Indiana Fever organization. As a game-changing player, her mastery of basketball's complexities is unparalleled.
I know you're strict, can we just find a common ground? The common ground's that gold medal. And she goes, "Yes, it is." And I said, "Coach,
Her ability to find and nurture talent might be the trigger that propels the Fever from the bottom of the rankings to a league-leading position. Miller's impact on the Fever is already being seen as she collaborates closely with the team's coaching staff and players, providing advice and mentoring that only a legend of her kind can provide. However, Miller's effect extends beyond the basketball court. She's also a strong supporter of gender equality in sports.
I really don't. I don't obviously talk about legacy because I'm still alive. I don't care what you guys say when I'm dead. But
and she's not hesitant to speak up about problems she feels are holding the game back. Miller was openly critical of the league's new TV rights package during a pregame interview at the WNBA All-Star Game. She advocated for a fourfold increase over the projected $2.2 billion over 11 years that the WNBA is expected to earn beginning in 2025. "I'm not great with numbers, but that's a lowball offer. Not even close," Miller said. "We've gone a long way, but now it's time for us to get what we deserve. I don't support gouging, but it's long overdue."
But it was a great collaboration with all the players, but Indiana has a very, very bright future.
Miller's desire for further financial investment in the WNBA demonstrates her conviction in the league's ability to develop and prosper. She understands that the WNBA needs finances to recruit great players, grow facilities, and reach new audiences. Miller's advocacy for the league demonstrates her dedication to ensuring that future generations of female basketball players have the resources and support they need to excel. With a force like Cheryl Miller pushing for the league, the WNBA has a lot to look forward to in terms of player growth and leadership transparency. Miller's impact is particularly beneficial to the Indiana Fever. Fans were ecstatic to watch their three young stars. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell have the chance to be mentored by a great like Miller.
I will say one thing. I did not count on their basketball IQ being that high. I knew it was high, obviously, because they play at this level.
Miller's encouraging statements about the Fever's future have only increased the enthusiasm. "Indiana has a very, very bright future," she told the crowd. "These young players are learning how to play the game, learning from their errors and making improvements. The only thing that will happen as they grow older is that they will learn how to stop running, shift momentum, and gain confidence. This is not a team that people want to play down the stretch because they're improving and showing no fear." Miller's enthusiasm for the Fever's potential is contagious, and it's already affecting the team's attitude and performance. Miller's trust in the players' ability has motivated them to play with fresh purpose and intensity. The Fever's recent performances on the court have shown hints of progress, and under Miller's leadership, they might be on the verge of a significant breakthrough.
Not only speaks volumes, it's one thing to be young and they're learning how to play the game and they're learning about their mistakes and how to correct them.
Miller's impact extends beyond the technical elements of the game. She also assists the Fever players in developing the mental fortitude and resilience required for high-level competition. Her personal experiences as a player who overcame obstacles to reach excellence set a strong example for the team's younger players. Miller's ability to engage with the players on a human level, offering her thoughts and knowledge, is fostering a strong, unified squad that believes in itself and its capacity to achieve. Miller's engagement with the squad has also energized them. They understand that having a legend like Cheryl Miller on their side is a game changer, and her presence might be the key to the team's turnaround. As the Fever progresses and gains confidence, the supporters unite behind them, wanting to see their club reach the top of the league. Miller's impact is also felt across the WNBA, as her statements and actions generate discussions regarding the league's future. Her plea for further financial investment in the WNBA has resonated with players, coaches, and fans alike, sparking a wider conversation about how the league can continue to develop and prosper in the coming years. Also, her influence extends beyond her historical achievements. Her ongoing contributions continue to shape the landscape of women's basketball. Her recent remarks concerning the Indiana Fever underscore her deep understanding of the game's evolving needs and the direction in which the league should move. As someone who has not only dominated on the court, but also made significant strides off it, Miller's voice carries weight in discussions about the future of the WNBA. The Indiana Fever, with their roster of young talent, could greatly benefit from Miller's insights and leadership. Her ability to inspire and mentor players is unmatched, and her involvement could be the catalyst that propels the team to greater success. The potential for the Fever to rise in the ranks under Miller's guidance is a thrilling prospect for fans and players alike. Moreover, Miller's advocacy for better financial financial investment in the WNBA highlights her commitment to the growth and sustainability of the league. Her call for a significant increase in the league's TV rights package reflects her belief that women's basketball deserves recognition and resources commensurate with its value. This stance not only supports current players, but also ensures that future generations will have the opportunity to thrive in a well-supported league.
Because not only are they getting better, but they're confident and they show no fear. They're fearless.
So what is the future for Cheryl Miller and the Indiana Fever? Will her engagement with the club result in a turnaround in their fortunes? How will her push for more financial investment in the WNBA affect the league as a whole? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, Cheryl Miller is a force to be reckoned with, and her impact on women's basketball is far from over. Skylar Diggins reportedly attacked Caitlin Clark during a WNBA game, and then Sharpe revealed the issue on national television. This topic has been trending on social media, and we're here to break down every aspect for you. Make sure you stay around because we've got all the background, responses, and aftermath you need. Let's get to it.
A little bit of everything in this one, but the bottom line is Seattle wins, and they go to 2-3, and Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever gave it a great effort, but they fall 2 points short, and they are now 0-5 on the season. My goodness.
To truly comprehend what transpired between Skylar Diggins and Caitlin Clark, we must backtrack a little. Caitlin Clark has been among the most talked about players in the WNBA this season. Leading her squad, the Indiana Fever, she is not only building a reputation for herself, but also ruffling some feathers along the road.
I think just reflecting back over my 4 years is just, I'm very grateful starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID, and then obviously my sophomore year we had good crowds, the curtains were down a lot of the games, and now it's impossible to get a ticket to get in the door to our games. So, yeah. I think the people that have made it the most special, obviously my teammates, my coaches, but it isn't what it is without all of you. So seriously, I mean that, and I thank you. And this is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but you're changing it. You're helping us change it. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, we thank you so much.
Her ferocious competition, paired with her ability to excite the fans, has earned her a polarizing reputation on the court.
Yeah, I think for me, anytime you go up against somebody that's super competitive and, you know, has that same drive and will to win, that's what you love. That's what competitors love. These type of games is what makes our game so great. It's what people want to turn on the TV and watch. I expect the viewership numbers to be through the roof for this. Yeah, I can definitely relate to the pressure that she probably feels on the weight of her shoulders, and you know that's a lot to deal with somebody that's 22 years old and has that many eyeballs on her, and being able to manage that. And I know she probably has a lot of people around her that help her, and that's definitely something unique.
During a recent game against the Seattle Storm, emotions were already high. The Indiana Fever, captained by Caitlin Clark, dominated the Storm. The game finished in a blowout, with the Fever claiming a dominating win. However, the drama did not finish with the final buzzer.
Tisha Penicheiro's record for most assists in a season by a rookie. Here's Clark speeding all the way in to the cup. Boston gets into the arms of Clark. Clark, the crossover, the three.
After the victory, while Caitlin Clark was celebrating with her teammates, Skylar Diggins, a seasoned league veteran and Seattle Storm player, approached Caitlin. Skylar apparently bumped into Caitlin in an unexpected manner, which many are calling an assault. This wasn't a casual brush, it was a planned deed that shocked the WNBA community. Let's be clear, Caitlin Clark is recognized for her passionate style of play and her excitement for energizing the audience. She wasn't trying to be nasty, she was just enjoying a hard-fought triumph. However, Skylar Diggins seems to have interpreted this incorrectly. The event was caught on film and rapidly went viral, igniting a heated discussion on social media.
That will officially do it. Indiana gets its first win of the season against Seattle. 92-75 the final. As Christy Sides and Noel Quinn exchange a long hug.
Shannon Sharpe, a former NFL great and now a well-known sports broadcaster, became aware of the occurrence. He was candid on his program. Shannon went off on Skylar Diggins, criticizing her behavior and supporting Caitlin Clark. According to Shannon, Skylar's actions were extremely inappropriate and showed a lack of sportsmanship. Shannon's response was a combination of amazement and fury. He couldn't understand why a seasoned player like Skylar Diggins would engage in such behavior behavior, particularly against a rising star like Caitlin Clark. Shannon emphasized that Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's future face, and acts like this are damaging to the league's reputation. When Shannon Sharpe's words aired, the social internet erupted. Fans and experts alike commented on the scenario. Some backed Skylar Diggins, claiming that Caitlin Clark's actions were provocative and that she had it coming. Others agreed with Shannon Sharpe, saying that Skylar's behaviors were inappropriate and unprofessional.
In regards to Clark, starting with WNBA legend Cheryl.
I want to know what y'all saying now, because she is legit. She's better, she's better than I thought she would soon.
The WNBA has been battling against the double standard for years. The league wants its players to be seen as strong, talented athletes, but it also wants to avoid the bad stereotypes that sometimes accompany that. It's a difficult balance, and events like the one involving Skylar Diggins and Caitlin Clark further confuse matters. As the WNBA season progresses, all eyes will be on Caitlin Clark and Skylar Diggins. Will their rivalry increase more, or will they find a way to move on from this incident? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, fans will be watching attentively. Caitlin Clark has already shown that she is a force to be reckoned with, and this event simply adds to her mystique. Meanwhile, Skylar Diggins must determine how she will handle the matter in the future. Will she apologize and make apologies, or will she continue to play the villain?
I thought she would be good. You and I both said she's gonna be good because she got two skill sets. She can score the basketball and she can assist the basketball.
The WNBA has the chance to handle the problem in a manner that encourages sportsmanship and respect among its players. At the same time, they must be cautious not to crush the competitive spirit that makes the game so enjoyable to watch. So where are we going from here? The incident between Caitlin Clark and Skylar Diggins is far from done, and we can expect more drama as the season progresses. But one thing is certain, this rivalry has captivated the attention of fans and experts alike, and it isn't going away anytime soon. As usual, we'd like to hear your comments on the matter. Do you believe Skylar Diggins was out of line? Or do you think Caitlin Clark should tone down her on-court antics? Let us know in the comments section.
Caitlin Clark had an amazing year and is nominated for 3 awards.
Serena Williams recently made news at the ESPY Awards for a statement regarding Caitlin Clark, which sparked extensive discussion and controversy.
Caitlin, you are the Larry Bird in that you are an amazing player. You have ties to Indiana, and white people are really crazy about you.
The comment addressed issues of racism, representation, and the larger ramifications for women's sports.
And she tries to stay grounded, and she says she doesn't, what did she say? She doesn't have a social, she doesn't look at her social, and I get it. I don't either.
This article will look at the backdrop of Williams' words, the emotions they elicited, and the possible influence on sports and society.
No matter what other people do, then if people are negative, it's because they can't do what you do, basically. And hopefully she'll continue to do what she's doing.
At the ESPYs, Serena Williams likened Caitlin Clark to Larry Bird, a great white basketball player, stating, "You are Larry Bird and you are an amazing player."
Bird in the corner, double fake, jumper, it's good! Larry Bird hits it with 2 seconds left.
You have links to Indiana, and white folks are passionate about you. While Williams may have meant to congratulate Clark, her statements unwittingly introduced race into the discourse, implying that Clark's fame is based on her color rather than her skill. Williams' views are relevant for many reasons.
And Angel Reese knows a ring is coming.
Larry Bird is a respected figure in basketball history.
Oh, there's Max on the offensive board on the cut to Bird, swings through, little reverse, layup is good.
How did he make that one? I want to tell you, I didn't think he was going to shoot it.
So being compared to him may be seen as a huge praise. However, the parallel gets problematic when it looks to cast Clark as an extraordinary white player rather than just a great player.
Up in time, Clark for the win! She does it time and time again, the 40-piece!
The inference is that her accomplishments and capabilities are perceived via a racial prism, which is not only limiting but also unjust to her skills and efforts. Comparing Caitlin Clark to Larry Bird only on the basis of race is dubious.
Just ask you directly, when people use your name for racism, misogyny, whatever, what is your response to that specifically?
Yeah, I think it's disappointing.
It indicates that Clark can only be compared to other white athletes, which undervalues her unique abilities and accomplishments. Furthermore, implying that white people are really crazy about you indicates that Clark's fandom is mostly white.
The ball to her, and that's exactly what she did. I mean, she started off hot, stayed hot throughout the entire game, but I think she also took pressure off of her when she was able to find her teammates in transition, get them the ball, and that
disregarding the diversity of her fans. This kind of racial stereotyping is antiquated and dangerous, especially in 2023, when society should be progressing beyond such limiting perspectives. The phrase also speaks to larger cultural concerns, such as how individuals are often classified and condemned based on their race. In sports, this emerges as racial stereotyping, in which players are frequently compared to others of their race rather than being valued as individuals. Such remarks may exacerbate divides and inhibit the appreciation of variety in sport.
I think, everybody in our world, deserves the same amount of respect. The women on our league deserve the same amount of respect. So people should not be using my name to push those agendas. It's disappointing.
Athletes like Clark should be honored for their abilities and accomplishments rather than their race. Serena's words elicited an instant and divided response. At the ESPYs, the crowd remained quiet, suggesting discomfort or astonishment. On social media, sentiments varied from humor to fury. Some fans thought Serena's statement amusing and true, while others were genuinely outraged.
Some of the women in this league were my biggest idols and role models growing up, and so just treating every single woman in this league with the same amount of respect, I think is just a basic human thing that everybody should do. Like, just be a kind person and treat them, how you would want to be treated, and I think it's, very simple.
Asking why race had to be brought into the discussion, one fan appropriately questioned why bring race into it. Many people agreed that the event should have focused only on Clark's achievements, without any racial criticism.
And then my parents are here tonight over here. My dad was actually my first ever AAU basketball coach, so this is kind of a full circle moment, and I grew up playing a lot of AAU sports, whether it was softball, basketball.
The range of responses demonstrates the difficulty of addressing race in public spaces. On the one hand, some individuals value honesty and find it refreshing to hear high-profile athletes talk candidly about race. On the other side, many people think that such remarks might distract from the athlete's accomplishments and divert attention away from their skills. The various replies reflect that society is still wrestling with how to approach race conversations, particularly in high-stakes settings such as big award events. Interestingly, Caitlin Clark has kept mute on the matter. She has made no public declarations or shared any responses on social media.
Caitlin Clark has done so much not only for women's college basketball, obviously what she's doing in the WNBA.
This quiet reveals much about her character and concentration. During her acceptance speech at the ESPYs, Clark merely expressed gratitude. "I just wanted to say thank you for this acknowledgement. It was a memorable year for women's athletics."
Hey everyone, it's Caitlin Clark. I just wanted to say thank you for this recognition. Obviously I could not be there tonight. I'm a little bit busy in Indianapolis. Special for all of us, and it was a special year in women's athletics. So thank you, ESPN. I just want to give a shout out to all the nominees and award winners tonight. I'm sad I couldn't be there, but I hope you all have an amazing night.
Her reaction was elegant and free of controversy, emphasizing her commitment to her sport rather than engaging in unneeded drama. Clark's decision to remain quiet might be taken in several ways. It might be a calculated strategy to avoid additional controversy while focusing on her game. It might also represent her desire to let her performance speak for itself rather than engage in a dispute that may detract from her accomplishments. Clark exemplifies professionalism and attention by keeping her cool and avoiding provocative statements.
Let's hear it for your Iowa women's basketball team. Our unanimous player of the year is going to take the mic. Take it away, Caitlin Clark.
Woo! Let's go!
Promoting the notion that athletes should be recognized for their abilities and devotion. Serena's statement ignited a bigger debate regarding racism in women's sports. Some contend that comparing Clark to Larry Bird is just another example of racial stereotyping, which persists throughout sports. One admirer said, "Some white people prefer Serena Williams and some black people like Caitlin Clark."
The criticism is often very one-sided. Caitlin Clark talks her shit. Caitlin Clark is demonstrative. Caitlin Clark, people aren't bothered by that. People aren't bothered by it because they're caught up in the narrative of, oh, here's this, wonderful.
Generalization is provocative. This argument emphasizes the continuing challenges of racism and representation in athletics, demonstrating that these discussions are far from ending. The topic expands beyond Serena and Clark. It addresses the broader problem of how athletes of various races are regarded and handled. Historically, black athletes have faced different standards and expectations than their white counterparts.
This morning, this physical moment involving the WNBA's most high-profile rookie raising questions.
Unnecessary.
Chicago's Kennedy Carter shoulder-checking the Fever's Caitlin Clark, knocking her to the ground.
This has resulted in a lengthy history of racial bigotry and uneven treatment in athletics. Serena's words, whether deliberate or not, have pushed these concerns back to the forefront.
I think at the end of the day, I'm a competitor. Now that it's another day, I've had an off day, now I can answer your questions and I can let you know how I really feel about things. But I'm a competitor and I'm going to compete no matter who you are.
Reminding us that much more work has to be done to achieve genuine equality in sports.
It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is.
Despite the uproar, Caitlin Clark's popularity continues to rise. Her outstanding abilities and accomplishments have resulted in record viewership for the WNBA and venues packed with fans of all ethnicities. Clark's appeal transcends color.
I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. And so part of it is about race.
Demonstrating that skill and determination are universal qualities that captivate a varied audience.
That she is more relatable to more people because she's white, because she's attractive. And unfortunately, there still is that stigma against the LGBTQ plus communities.
Clark's ability to keep her concentration and execute at a high level under criticism is admirable.
70% of the WNBA is black, a third of the players are in the LGBTQ plus community.
It illustrates her perseverance and resolve to achieve despite external distraction.
And we have to do something about that stigma in this country. I think that people have a problem with basketball playing women that are lesbian.
Her rising popularity also reflects a change in how fans see sports. Skill and effort are more valued despite ethnic or other superficial distinctions. This is a good omen for the future of sports since it indicates that supporters are growing more inclusive and open-minded. Serena Williams is under widespread criticism for her statements. Critics contend that introducing race into a time intended to honor Clark's accomplishments was needless and divisive.
But to my teammates and coaches that I had at the University of Iowa, it's special for all of us, and it was a special year in women's athletics. So thank you, ESPN.
This scandal has caused some to doubt Serena's legacy. Williams, a pioneer who has inspired many people and broken innumerable boundaries, is now in danger of ruining her reputation with a statement that many people believe is improper. Williams' legacy is multifaceted.
About Serena doing well in her first round against Christiane was the serve started flowing, started firing.
She has been a strong champion for gender and racial equality in athletics, utilizing her position to raise awareness and fight for change.
Like businesses and companies and Serena Ventures and Win Beauty and all the stuff that I'm doing and Serena in the arena, and like it's just like it's so much. So.
However, her latest remark has ignited a discussion about whether high-profile athletes should be more cautious with their comments. The outcry against Serena indicates that fans want their celebrities to maintain certain standards and avoid words that may be seen as divisive. This episode serves as a warning that even well-intentioned words may have unexpected repercussions, and that public figures must be aware of their influence. The topic of racism in female athletics is not new. There has always been an unspoken conflict about how athletes of various races are regarded and handled. This tension may be observed in many sports, including tennis, basketball, and track and field. The WNBA and other sports organizations have taken steps to address these concerns via diversity and inclusion initiatives. Still, incidents like Serena's statement demonstrate that more work needs to be done. Historically, black athletes have struggled to acquire fame and respect in predominantly white sports. This has resulted in a history of racial intolerance and discrimination that continues to impact athletes today. The WNBA's attempts to promote diversity and inclusion are positive milestones, but they are insufficient on their own. To develop a genuinely inclusive atmosphere, all stakeholders must work together, including players, spectators, and media. Serena's statement has unintentionally sparked a bigger discussion about how race is viewed in sports. Stephen A. Smith said, "Race is always the component that we can ignore, but it doesn't always have to be negative." This viewpoint emphasizes the need to acknowledge race without allowing it to dominate or adversely influence the narrative. The idea is to honor athletes for their accomplishments, while also encouraging a more inclusive and polite conversation on race. The objective is to strike a balance between acknowledging the importance of race and ensuring that it does not overwhelm the athlete's accomplishments. This necessitates a balanced strategy that respects each athlete's uniqueness, while also considering the larger societal environment in which they function. It is important to have open and honest talks on race, but they must be presented in a manner that fosters understanding and inclusiveness rather than division. The WNBA has taken strong steps to promote diversity and inclusion. They have developed policies and activities to provide a friendly atmosphere for all players and supporters. These initiatives are critical to influencing the way race and representation are seen in sports. However, altering attitudes and views is a lengthy process that takes continuous work and dedication from all parties involved. The WNBA's activities include programs to help young players from varied backgrounds, attempts to expand representation in leadership roles, and awareness campaigns on the value of diversity and inclusion. These approaches are critical for developing a more inclusive sports culture. However, it is essential to acknowledge that true transformation requires more than simply rules and initiatives. It requires a change in attitudes and actions, which can only be accomplished by consistent effort and participation. Serena Williams' statement has prompted a critical discussion about racism, representation, and diversity in sports. While it may have created pain and controversy, it also provides a chance for development and learning. The sports community and society at large must participate in meaningful discourse about these concerns in order to create a more inclusive and respectful environment for everyone. The route ahead requires a commitment to continual education and awareness. This entails listening to underrepresented populations' views, understanding the obstacles they encounter, and collaborating to build a more inclusive atmosphere.